Welcome to another Crafting with Roswell. Today we are going to be going over some ornament inspiration. So it's not hard to find this style of ornament bulb this time of year. So the lid pops off and you're able to fill it with a variety of materials. So I'm going to show you 3 different techniques today. The first is the one included in your kit. So in your kit you received a container of Epsom salt. In that container you also have 5 whole peppercorns, and you received a square of orange felt. So for this one we're going to make a melted snowman. So I'm going to begin by opening up my Epsom salt. Your salt should be pretty fine, no major chunks stuck together, kind of like sugar does. So I'm just going to begin a little press with my finger to make sure there's no big clumps. And before you do that, I really recommend pulling out your peppercorns. They're pretty obvious to spot. And then we have our bulb. So I'm just going to use this small cup that I have nearby to hold my ornament. And I'm going to take this postcard to create the funnel that we will also need, and I have scissors nearby in order to create my nose out of the orange felt. So first up is kind of creating a funnel out of your postcard. So I just recommend giving it a good wrap. It doesn't have to be completely closed. You want it to be able to move the Epsom salt down into your ornament without spilling it all over the place. That's the big goal. So I'm just going to take and insert the end into my ornament and carefully pour in my Epsom salt. How much you want to pour in is completely up to you. That's a decent amount at the bottom of the globe to look like something melted inside. So next I'm going to take out my peppercorns and just drop them in. So they're kind of just sitting on the top of the surface of the snow inside. So think 3 buttons and 2 eyes made out of charcoal, and that's the look we achieve with the peppercorns. And so next up, I'm just going to cut a carrot shape out of this piece of felt. You could choose to cut a triangle. That works as well. But I'm trying to give it a little more feel of like an actual carrot. So I'm just going to create this kind of rounded shape. And then I'm going to drop that into the bulb as well. And where it lands, it doesn't really matter, but we have basically melted snow, peppercorns, and the orange piece of felt looking like his nose. We squeeze these prongs to put them back inside the lid, and there's our melted snowman. So this is an awesome addition to small gifts. So if you did like a mug with some hot chocolate, this would be a great addition to that kind of a gift. Or super cute on a tree, or just hanging around on a garland, a whole bunch of melted snowmen. So next up for projects, we're going to take our second bulb. I'll put this first one back over here so you can kind of see it. Our second bulb, we are going to do a paint pour technique. So for that one, last night's crew in the program helped me choose colors. So we have purple, silver, and a pink that we're going to be swirling together inside our next ornament. So those are just regular acrylic paints, and then I need a pouring medium to help thin out the paint, making it easier to pour, and then that helps you get the effect covering the inside of your ornament. So I have 3 spoons for mixing these 3 cups, and let's get started. So let's give this a shake first and pour some paint. If that happens, definitely remove any hard pieces. So I'm just doing a nice dollop of paint in each container. I love the silicone mat, nothing sticks to it. So there's my 3 colors. Next, I'm going to give my pouring medium a little stir. And I am just looking to do a cover over of my paint. And then I'm going to give these a stir. If they're not the right consistency, then I will add in more pouring medium. So each one's going to get a stir. The pouring medium does not change the color of the paint. It just thins it down. So what we're looking for is when we take our spoon and pour, you end up with a nice streak of paint running off your spoon. It's not broken, it's not clumpy. We want a nice thin stream. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more medium to this one. Much better. So it's not breaking, it's pouring all the way down back into the cup. Perfect. I'm going to do the same stirring for the other 2, but I'll just speed that up a little bit for you. Now that all 3 paints are ready, I'm actually going to borrow this little cup. So what we're going to do is layer the paints inside the cup before we add them inside our bulb. So the first color you use is going to be at the top, because it's going to be the last to get poured in. So the last color you use is going to be the first one that ends up in the bottom of your bulb. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour a little bit of the purple into my cup. We're basically just layering these. Pouring a little bit of one inside the other, making layers inside our cup to then make layers inside our ornament. The great thing about this project is if you're not happy with your poured ornament, you can always just rinse this out. At this point, this is just paint, nothing is set. So you have a chance to rinse it out and go again. And then I'm just going to add a little more purple. Here we go. Set those off to the side. Take my next bulb. So any little cup that you pour from, I'm just going to give this a quick little squeeze and pour this paint into my ornament. So you can see as I'm pouring, it's making a nice layered effect on the inside. Swirling the paints together. So then I'm just going to give my ball a twist. And to keep coating the sides of my ornament with my paint mixture as I kind of tilt it. I'm going to keep tilting towards the opening. And then I recommend having another small like bathroom cup nearby. Because once you start tilting enough that paint might start pouring out, you're going to want something to catch that to keep from making a big mess. And now the paint's starting to make its way into the opening of the bulb. And the excess will drip out. Just give it an extra little swirl to help move the paint around. And there is my paint poured ornament bulb. So it's a great way to mix colors that you'd like to use for your decorating without it being a super precise method. There's no real control over how all of your swirls look once you put them in your bulb, but it's a fun way to play. So then this is going to stay upside down in this cup to allow the paint to keep drying and extra flow outside. When it's all dry, usually this overnight, then we put the lid back on and it's ready to hang. So the third technique involves our friend glitter. So if you take polyacrylic, a blank ornament bulb, and glitter, you can create your own glittered ornaments. And I just got paint on my bulb, grab my paper towel, clean that up before I do it again. So I'm just going to use this cup to mix my glitters. Be careful with your glitter and how fast it pours. You don't need a ton of glitter for this project. So kind of decide what you want your main color to be. So for this one I want more of a white as my main color. And I'm going to add in a little blue. And that's what happens. Do not trust your little lids. So I'm just going to try and scoop out some of that blue so it's not so much of it. And then that'll go into my extra glitter container so it won't get wasted. It'll just get used again for a different project. That's better. So it's still mainly a white with a light bit of blue added in. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of silver, but I'm going to learn my lesson and just take that little top off. Sprinkle in a little silver. And this is when these mats really come in handy. The glitter just washes off. It's super easy to clean. And there's my mix of glitters. So next up, I like using these little syringes. They are the easiest way to add the polyacrylic inside the ornament bulb. And I'm just going to reuse this container from the Epsom salts in order to pour out the excess polyacrylic when we get to that point. So I'm just going to go ahead, use my syringe and grab a nice healthy amount of polyacrylic. This isn't an exact science in terms of how much you need. Basically, we just need to coat the inside of our bulb. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. And that's all we're going to need. And I'm just going to gently swirl this around to coat the inside of the bulb with this sealant, which will then hold the glitter when we add it in. and harden that to the sides of the bulb to create our glittered ornament. And as you get close to the opening again, you can go ahead and pour back your extra, turning slowly, making sure you're getting all of the sides covered. And we're going to let this sit for a second. To help move all the polyacrylic down, any extra, we really only want a very light coat. Give it a little twist to help a little extra drop out. And then we're ready to start adding in our glitter. So I'm just going to use the lid of the glitter to help hold this. Once again, I'm just going to use my paper funnel if you'd like to, or if you do have paper bathroom cups, you're able to create a spout on these to pour your glitter in. Try and work that to the edge so you can see it filling. It's on the outside, that'll all just wipe right off. And then you just give your bulb a twist, like we did with the other paint, to help move the glitter around. So this project can be messy, but the end result is so fun. Just adding a little bit more of my glitter mixture to the inside. I'll give the outside of the bulb a quick dust off so you can see more of the effect of the sides being filled with the glitter. And just keep moving that glitter around, coating the sides of your ornament. When you start heading towards your opening, keep moving that glitter around. You'll want to have your cup to pour your extra back into. And just give it a little tap. And there is our glittered ornament bulb. So again, I would let this one dry. Once it's all dry, pinch your prongs, put them back in. These bulbs can then be decorated with oil-based paint pens, or if you have a vinyl cutter, you can always cut out decorations for them. But it's just an easy way to make a tree or garland or a wreath with ornaments in a coloring that you choose to make it truly personal, truly customized. And I hope this helped you find a little ornament inspiration and a little craft mess. And I will see you all next week for our Buffalo Plaid project.